Well, I don't even really need a. Well, yeah, no, never mind. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Ignore me. Ignore me. I am right here, but I need to get YouTube chat real quick. Um, Give me 1 second. It's your channel. There we go. I want to hear my voice. Gross. Get you right here. Right. Oh, shoot. Hopefully that video's still there. Because there was a short that said, wait, give me a second. Hmm. Alright. I couldn't find the video. Never mind. Wrong thing. We're close to playing it. But for now, I'll play that when it's ready.
On December 29, 1986, NBC7 San Diego aired a segment on highway safety, offering tips on what to do in case your car breaks down.
If your car should become disabled, the rule of thumb is stay inside. There are.
It's the one where the. No, I don't think they showed the police officer getting run over on live television. Unless it was during that one time where they did everything actually live. And so, they couldn't, like, immediately cut.
Signs you can get to put on the back window to summon for help. If strangers should offer assistance, tell them to call police or the CHP.
Tell them to fuck off, dude.
Turn on the emergency flashers and wait for help to come. Even if you have to wait all night, it's better to be in the safety of your vehicle and spend the night than to try to walk and get assistance.
The segment also featured a ride-along interview with California Highway Patrol Officer Craig Pyre, who emphasized the dangers of
Craig Pyre. That sounds a little bit too close to fucking vampire. What the heck? That's kind of dope though. Greg Pyre. That's a dope ass name. Pyre. Greg Pyre.
car and blindly trusting others.
Anything could happen. Being a female, you could be robbed if you're a male.
Damn fuck. Dude pretty much said this. Give me a second. I always make this joke, but give me a second. I think it's. Is it 1 or 2?
Demon. Never did be with a demon. Sounds like
That should probably me, huh?
nothing to me, man.
I think it's 2, right? Where he says, I don't even trust myself.
No.
That's just like a trust.
That pussy about pissing, shitting, shooting. I hope them aliens are Bob Cordy sees Phillips head balloon.
Where's it at? What? I think it's Dracula Flow too, right?
Rapscallion ghost nut. I'm him.
I'm being him. I will continue to be him.
Yellow rubies glisten. That coochie yummy shit ain't nothing to me, man. We out here cloud seeding.
The scope gleaming. I can't.
You can't trust me. I don't even
This is what the police officer said. Finally, thank God.
me. I don't even trust myself. I don't know who scope gleaming. You can't trust me. I don't even trust myself.
All that for a joke that I couldn't even remember. Jesus Christ, dude.
Once you get in that other person's car, you're at their mercy.
This broadcast concluded
That is true, though.
with a driver who ran out of gas. He had pulled over on the highway and set out on foot to find a nearby gas station.
The bottom line, though, is that preventing all this trouble is easy. Be sure your car works.
Mhm.
Send us
Just don't
$6
trust
now.
anyone.
Be sure you've got gas. Because even if you're lucky enough to get some, you still may be taking your life in your own hands. Do you realize how dangerous it is?
Yes, I realize. In fact, I was putting the gas in, and a 18-wheeler came by and almost blew me away. Truthfully.
However, what seemed like an innocent public service announcement was, in reality, aired in response to a horrific crime that took place in San Diego just 2 days prior. The victim of this crime was Kara Knott, a 20-year-old honors student at San Diego State University. She spent Christmas Day with her family celebrating the occasion and opening presents. After dinner, she made plans to spend the next couple of days with her boyfriend, Wayne Bautista. Wayne had severe
And I just need to have another tab open at 24/7. Brother really said, "Wait, I can't, because then I'll get demonetized." Never mind. But Batista bomb.
flu at the time, and Kara wanted to nurse him back
Damn
to
it.
health. So she drove to
I forgot that they demonetize as soon as you show a modicum of a sentence.
December at around 8 p.m., she called her father, Sam Knott, from her boyfriend's place to let him know that she was on her way home. The drive from Wayne's house should have taken about 30 minutes, but when 2 hours passed with no sign of her, her parents began to worry. At around 10 p.m., Sam suddenly got up from his chair and said to his wife, "I'm gonna go find Kara." With that, he drove to Wayne's house, hoping that Kara would still be there. Unfortunately, Wayne told him that she left soon after she called Sam, and he had no idea where she was. Members of her family and Wayne began looking for her along the route she should have taken back home. However, despite driving around all night, they found nothing that could give them any
Damn.
insight into her whereabouts. Kara had vanished without a trace. That is until 5:15 a.m. when the family decided to drive down the Mercy Road exit ramp off of I-15. There, they found Kara's white Volkswagen Beetle. The driver's side window was halfway down, the keys were still in the ignition, and all of her belongings were still in the car. But there were no signs of Kara herself. The family reported this find to the police, who quickly began searching the area. Not long after this search began, they found Kara's lifeless body 70 feet below a nearby bridge.
God damn.
Later medical examination of her body revealed that she had rope burns around her neck and a mysterious round injury above one of her eyes. After a complete analysis of her injuries, the coroner concluded that she had been strangled before being thrown from the bridge. Other than these injuries, there were no signs of anything being done to Kara. This made it extremely difficult for investigators to pinpoint the killer's motive behind this horrific crime. There were no signs of someone else being in the car either, which also made it difficult to determine why she would drive off the main highway down an abandoned exit on her own. Kara's boyfriend was the last person who saw her alive. This made him the lead suspect in her murder, but he was soon cleared of any suspicion since he was at home recovering from the flu when the crime happened. The only clue investigators had left was a receipt from a Chevron gas station about 15 miles from the crime scene. Kara likely stopped there on her way back. Unfortunately, questioning the gas station employees failed to uncover any new leads, leaving investigators with zero clues for where to look next.
Wonder what happened.
Without any other options, investigators turned to the media and broadcasted Kara's disappearance in as many places as they could, asking the public for any useful information. This also included the segment on highway safety with Officer Craig Pyre. Luckily, after these segments aired on TV, the Associated Hotline quickly received over 24 calls from women. However, instead of providing any information regarding Kara, these calls uncovered a far more shocking truth. They said that a patrol officer had pulled them over in the past and told them to drive down the same deserted Mercy Road exit. According to these women, this officer kept them there for hours and would even sometimes get in their passenger seats. The officer they were talking about was 36-year-old Craig Pyre, the same man who was preaching on TV about how to stay safe on the highway.
Damn.
He disproved these allegations with his logbook, which showed that he was writing a ticket at the time miles away from the crime scene. However, his logbook had clear eraser marks in that slot. 1 week after the incident, the San Diego Police Department began a formal investigation with Craig as the lead suspect. And it didn't
I was just
take long
complimenting
for
his
them to
name.
find mountains
Fuck.
of evidence that proved his involvement.
Fuck you, Craig.
Searching his car, investigators
Asshole.
found a yellow rope, which was just as thick as the marks on Kara's neck. They also found his flashlight, which matched the wound above Kara's eye. However, the piece of evidence that sealed the deal was a golden fiber investigators found on Kara's sweatshirt. Forensic analysis of this fiber revealed that it was identical to the
Yeah, add me on
fibers
Discord.
on Craig's uniform. By this point, it was clear Craig was the one responsible for this crime. However, he remained adamant that he was innocent. But all the evidence and the testimonies from over 24 women allowed investigators to piece together what might have happened that night.
I mean, you can add
As
me
the
on
story
Discord,
goes,
then.
Craig saw Kara driving alone and decided to pull
I
her
don't
over down the Mercy
think
Road exit
it'll show me
just
if I
like he
had a
had done
notification or
the
not,
night
but
before.
hey.
However, instead of going along with him, Kara decided to fight back and maybe even threatened to file a complaint against him.
For
Until
real.
he lost control and hit her with the flashlight in his hand. Upon realizing what he had done, Craig now had two choices. Let Kara go and risk ruining his career, or make sure she never talks to anyone again. Craig chose the second option. After strangling her with a rope, he put her on his car's hood, drove up the bridge, and threw her off the side. On January 16th, 1987, Craig was arrested from his home and later sentenced to 25 years to life in prison.
Good.
He's since applied for parole twice, but was rejected both times and is still behind
Cool,
bars. It's still
cool.
crazy to think
Let
that
him rock.
Kara's case might have gone unsolved if Craig hadn't agreed to do this now haunting video interview. An interview he did where just days before, he had committed the murder of Kara Nod. On June 2nd, 2016, a woman named Christina Kellen posted this video of her pet parrot talking like a human.
Nah, if you want to, well, this is a creepy backstory, but if you want a creepy bird one, just in general, give me a second, let me second. Give me 1 second. Yeah.
Come on. I'm right here. Come here. This is as close as I'm gonna get, baby. I think you're gonna bite my toes. No. I'm not gonna hurt you. Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. I'm a little bit.
This is the creepiest video ever.
You're just
I'm not gonna hurt you.
You're so strong. What's the matter? I don't want you to bite me.
Just taunting her and stuff. This is wild, dude.
Oh. Oh. You're so sweet. No, baby. What's your problem? Nothing. I love you. I just said. I think we just need some time before we do that, okay? See, that's why. What's the matter? I still think you won't bite me. I'm sorry. See? That's why. See? You scared me.
See, after attacking her, it's okay.
You tried to hurt me. I'm not gonna hurt you. But you tried to.
This is what I call the gaslighting bird, dog. This is wild. This is crazy. Dude, fuck, what's his name? I'm Alex needs to learn from this guy. Run. Yeah. That bird was I'm Alex's teacher, dude. Alright,
On most other occasions, people will look at a video like this, think it's cute or interesting, and move on with their lives. But in this case, the video of a talking parrot became the key to solving a murder, one that baffled investigators for over a year. On May 12, 2015, at around 7:30 a.m., a woman named Connie Ree heard gunshot sounds from her neighbor's house across the street in Sand Lake, Michigan. But she didn't pay much attention to it, since the neighbor, 46-year-old Marty Durham, regularly hunted in the area. Connie and her husband Keith were close friends with Marty and his wife Glenn, and were familiar with the couple's habits. However, later that day, Keith notified Connie and told her that Marty wasn't answering his phone calls or text messages. So after finishing her work, Connie went out to the Durham house to investigate. The doors were locked and no one answered when she knocked. She assumed the couple wasn't home and went back to her house. But when an entire day passed without any word from Marty or Glenn, Connie became concerned and decided to check on them again. This time, she noticed that one of the doors was unlocked and went inside. At first, she found the living room, which was a complete mess. It looked like the place had just been robbed. However, nothing could have prepared Connie for what she came across next. As she entered the master bedroom, she saw both Marty and Glenn lying on the floor, covered in blood. She immediately ran outside and called for help. A group of firefighters was already nearby and rushed to the scene. After taking note of the situation, the first responders pronounced that both Marty and Glenn were already dead. Both had bullet wounds on their bodies, and judging from the state of the rest of the house, it looked like a robbery gone wrong. But before they could begin investigating who the supposed robber was, something completely unexpected happened. About an hour after the initial report, a police officer who was on the scene noticed that Glenn looked like she was breathing. He walked up to her to check for a pulse, and that's when she opened her eyes and sat up straight despite having a bullet wound behind her ear. She was taken to the hospital for treatment. Miraculously, her wound wasn't lethal, resulting in her surviving the incident. Marty, however, wasn't as fortunate. He was shot 5 different times and didn't make it. Back at their house, investigators found a Ruger new model revolver under a couch in the living room. They also found several cartridges and 1 unused bullet for this revolver on the couple's bed. Investigators believed that this was the weapon used to shoot.
You can't show guns on YouTube? What the heck?
They didn't find anything that could help them locate the supposed intruder. Without any other options, the police began investigating Marty and Glenn in hopes of finding potential leads. That's when
it was her. She did it.
Glenn's phone record showed that on May 11th, 2 days before Marty's body was
Let me see
discovered.
it. Give me 1 second. Oh, fuck off. Oh, it can be in the background there, man. Hey, man, we're back. We're good. Actually, no. Yeah, give me 1 second. All right, dope. Right, we're back.
Discovered, she texted her mother saying, "Love you, sorry." Seconds after sending this text, Glenn's phone accessed a web page titled Ruger New Model Single 6 Single Action Revolvers. This was the same gun that was found in their home. After a more thorough search,
That's crazy
investigators
work.
also found
Okay.
3 letters written in Glenn's handwriting that were addressed to her children. Similar to the text she sent to her mother, these letters also contained apologies of sorts. When Glenn finally recovered enough to talk in October of 2016, investigators asked about everything they found. Glenn, however, completely denied ever searching anything about a revolver online and said that she had written the letters a long time ago. When asked about Marty, she claimed that she didn't remember anything relating to his death. At this point, Glenn was the #1 suspect.
No,
However,
yeah.
investigators didn't find any solid evidence they could use to bring her in for a proper questioning or make an arrest.
Until the bird.
After all, it was still possible that the incident was caused by an intruder, especially since Glenn was shot as well. This left Marty's case at a standstill, and it remained that way until June of 2016, when, out of all things, a talking parrot single-handedly solved the case. You see, the African gray parrot in this video was named Bud, who originally belonged to Marty. He was later handed over to Marty's ex-wife, Christina, after his death. The thing about this parrot is that he was in the house when everything went down and witnessed everything. For those who don't know, African gray parrots are among the most intelligent parrot species. They're great at
I'm not gonna hurt you.
speech and even understanding the meanings of some words. They're also more likely to repeat what they heard during a high-stress situation. This is why, while in the care of Christina,
That middle one looked derpy as hell. Look at that.
high-stress situation. This is why, while in the care
Damn
of
little
Christina,
Corviknights.
Bud kept repeating
No.
what he heard on that day over and over
A
again.
Pokemon would they be?
Probably about a month or so after
It wouldn't be a
Bud got
chat
here,
on.
I would hear him scream and squawk, and it would happen a lot at nighttime. But then one day, literally, he just kept going over and over again, the same oh, and it sounded like 2 different voices. And I was just so freaked out that I took it upon myself to record it.
If we go back to the video of him speaking, we can make out what sounds like an argument between Glenn and Marty.
Damn.
Put simply, there was no intruder. Glenn and Marty had an argument where she was yelling and likely had a gun pointed at him. Now, while this video gave necessary insight into what went down, there was no practical way to use a parrot for testimony and convict Glenn. However, this gave the investigators the confidence they needed to pursue her more intently. They took a DNA sample and later discovered matching DNA on the Ruger revolver, the supposed murder weapon. Further interrogation also revealed the whole truth of why she did what she did. Apparently, Marty had been on disability ever since getting in a car accident a few years back, but he was able to make ends meet by illegally selling his prescription narcotics. He left Glenn in charge of the money he made from his drug business so she could pay off important bills like the house mortgage. Glenn, however, wasted much of this money on gambling and kept lying to Marty about the mortgage payments. Marty eventually learned the truth when the bank announced that it would foreclose the house on May 12, 2015, the same day Glenn shot him to death. Rather than facing the consequences of her own mistake, Glenn decided it was better to orchestrate a robbery gone wrong and take her own life.
That is
Glenn was arrested
terrible.
on the 24th of June 2016 and was later sentenced to life in prison for a crime against her own husband. On November 18, 2011, at 4:35 a.m., Sydney Fire and Rescue
Scheiße, dude.
Services
Imagine
responded
doing
to a
illegal
related
stuff
fire
just like your wife
accident.
loses it on fucking
The fire
gambling.
was nothing short of a
That is
complete tragedy.
crazy.
As things started calming down, news outlets conducted interviews of the people involved. This included Roger Dean, a nurse who was on duty at the nursing home when the fire erupted.
Hi, I'm Roger. I'm one of the nurses, and just there was a fire, and I just quickly just did what I can, get everyone out, and the smoke is just overwhelming. But you know, we got a lot of people out, so that's the main thing.
They're saying that there's still people unaccounted for. What's happening there?
I'm not sure. The deputy is she's got the list of people there, and yeah, it looks like there's still probably a few people, and the people are trying their best to get everyone out at the moment. Yeah.
By the time responders arrived at the scene, the fire had already engulfed a large portion of the building. According to later reports, the fire burned so intensely that even with full protective gear, some firefighters struggled to get close to the flames. What made this already dire situation even worse was that the burning ward housed bedridden dementia patients who were completely unable to escape on their own. Outside, rescue workers could hear the desperate cries for help, but were powerless to act because of the extreme heat. Despite these difficulties, they managed to get over 100 residents to safety. Among those trying to help, however, was Roger Dean, who rushed in to secure vital medication records before firefighters stopped him from going back into the flames. This man was hiding a disturbing secret beneath the surface. As it turns out,
I forgot to check if my mic is, yeah. All right, cool. I haven't been talking to myself. Nice. I will be right back. I think I forgot to put the ranch back in the fridge. Don't be quick. I'll be back. I just need to make sure. I did in fact forget to put the ranch back in the fridge. I am dumb. Alright, let's keep on going.
Roger was the one who started the fire in the first place. It all started with him stealing prescription medication from the nursing home by the hundreds. Just a day before the fire, security cameras caught him accessing the medication closet 36 different times during his shift to steal pills and capsules. However, his luck ran out when other staff members at the nursing home noticed the missing medication and reported it to the police. At this point, Roger knew it was only a matter of time before he got caught. So he came up with the horrible idea to start a fire and steal the medication records during the chaos. And while he managed to execute this plan successfully, the fire also resulted in 11 elderly residents losing their lives in the flames. After he was arrested, Roger came up with the most bizarre excuse to explain his actions.
It was like Satan saying to me that it's the right thing to do.
In actuality, there was no...
Oh my bad. My apologies. I forgot to switch back. But I looked over because this is what dude pretty much said.
Will the suspect please take case because he cares about you?
I'll fucking do it again.
Okay, Goofy, do you want to go to jail?
Nope.
Do you want to go to a psychiatric ward?
No.
No?
No.
Then you say that you're not guilty. You didn't do it.
But
okay?
I did.
Yeah, I know you fucking did it, but just say you did it. Okay, Goofy, you gotta take this seriously. You killed 27 children, okay? And we all know that. We all know that, but I can get you out of this. Do you know how much money Mickey put on the line for this? Do you know how much money he's paying? He's doing this just for you because he cares about you. Okay? If not for me, do this for Mickey.
Okay.
I don't care about losing the case. Just do it for Mickey. Okay?
Okay.
Goofy.
Murder.
Goofy, shut the fuck up.
I love murder.
Why? Goofy.
The demons told me to.
Are you gonna get
Today, we're gonna explore.
Damn it. Wrong one. Wrong video. My bad.
Satan or demon telling him to start the fire in the nursing home. He was just a prescription meds junkie who committed a horrendous crime while trying to cover his tracks. Later investigation even uncovered footage of him admiring his handiwork on the morning of the fire. The seemingly innocent video of him being interviewed now carries a much more disturbing tone. He stood trial in the Supreme Court in May 2013 and was given a life sentence without the possibility of parole for 11 counts of murder. On May 16, 1992, Mexican singer-songwriter Chelino Sanchez gave one of his best performances to date. He performed many of his popular songs before ending the concert in spectacular fashion. The fans loved every second of it. Little did they know at the time, this was going to be the last time they would ever
because that
see
note
him
pretty
perform.
much. Oh, I'll explain it.
Tied back to the origin of Chelino's music. You see, Chelino was born in 1960 in a very poor farming region in Sinaloa, Mexico. Even worse than poverty, Chelino's village was marked by rampant inequality, where a few rich and powerful men had the power to do whatever they wanted. Unfortunately, Chelino experienced this inequality firsthand when a local thug named El Chapo Perez assaulted one of his sisters. However, Chelino wasn't going to let that slide. When he was just 15 years old, he spotted El Chapo at a party, and without a second thought, Chelino went up to El Chapo, drew his gun, and killed him at point-blank range. But since El Chapo was a well-connected man, killing him forced Chelino to flee to Tijuana before crossing the border into the US. After establishing a foothold in America, Chelino went into business with his brother in Mexico, smuggling Mexicans into the US. However, this operation came to an end in 1984 when his brother was killed in a hotel in Tijuana. This inspired Chelino to write a song commemorating his brother, but he did so in the most unconventional way. The song was written in a traditional Mexican style called corrido. For the lyrics, Chelino spoke openly about him and his brother's life, not shying away from the topics of drugs and violence. During this time, he himself ended up in prison in Tijuana. There, other inmates loved his unique style of music, causing it to spread across the Mexican underworld by the time he got out. It also gained a new name called Narco Corrido. After getting out of prison, Chelino kept working on his music and quickly became one of the biggest stars of his era. By 1991, he was selling out arenas for his tour. However, given the genre of his music, he never managed to escape the violence he once came from. During one of his concerts in January of 1992, someone ran onto the stage with a gun. Instead of running to safety, Chelino decided to draw his own gun and engage in a shootout. This resulted in the death of the assailant, as well as 10 people in the crowd getting injured. Chelino also got shot but managed to survive. However, his luck was about to run out. About 5 months later, Chelino performed in Culiacan, Mexico, delivering what would later be remembered as one of his best performances. And, as we mentioned earlier, also his last. During the concert, someone came up to him and handed him a mysterious note. In the footage from that concert, we can clearly see Chelino read the note, become visibly shaken by it, begin sweating, and stare into the crowd for a very long time before resuming the performance. Near the end of this concert, Chelino made sure to properly say goodbye to everyone, including his friends and fans. Shortly after the concert ended, Chelino was kidnapped and executed with a bullet to the back of his head. The note he received on stage essentially said something along the lines of, "We're going to kill you after this performance." Chelino knew the threat was real, and that this performance we see in the video would be his last one. Unfortunately...
Well, sources vary, because in another source that I heard or read, it said that the note said that if he sang the song that ultimately was his last song, they'd execute him. That did kill him if he continued his performance, but because he didn't want to just stop, he did it, and then he died. R.I.P. the GOAT.
Killers were never uncovered, and it's unlikely they ever will be in the future.
We'll watch this one first.
Today, we're going to explore some of YouTube's most obscure, creepy videos. But before we do that, I want to tell you a story about a more widely known horror. Back in 2013, in that liminal summer I spent between high school and college, I spent many late nights alone in my room, browsing the weird side of YouTube. Back in those days, the recommendations in the sidebar of a video were usually just other clips related to the one you were watching, not personalized recommendations that have nothing to do with the current video. Because of this, you could find one strange clip that happened to fit in an odd place in the algorithm, and through its sidebar, you could be sent on an endless rabbit hole of weird video after weird video. In one of these late night expeditions into the underbelly of YouTube, I came across a particularly unsettling video.
What the?
The title was Kuyan Dayak, and the video appeared to show some sort of creature inside a cage being viewed by spectators. The quality of the clip was quite poor. It's super compressed and low resolution, and it's hard to make out just what exactly this being is. It looks as if it has a head of a human and the body of some sort of small animal, maybe a fox considering how bushy and big its tail is. The beast seems to twitch every few seconds, and while the head might look human, it certainly isn't acting human. It lays there in a lethargic way that might lead one to think it isn't aware of its surroundings, much like a caged animal. Onlookers speak
The
in a form
tranquilize the
which
Wendigo
most things
dog.
seemingly writhes in a state of discomfort, and that's all there really is to it. Needless to say, out of every video I've ever seen on the weird side of YouTube, this one stuck with me the most. Not only was the clip itself deeply unsettling, but there was just no information about it anywhere. Nobody had any sort of explanation as to what this thing was, and as a result, it lived in my mind for many...
Wait a second. I just want to see if it's ready. Go and play games in the background. Why? Pretty much steal someone else's content. You know why? Because I'm based like that. Oh, let's see. Damn, there it is. Yeah. Right.
as a disturbing unsolved mystery. Fast forward to last month, and out of the blue,
Make
I
this
once again
bigger.
thought about Koyan Dayak. This time though, I was determined to actually get to the bottom of this strange video. It took me a little while to actually find it again, but once I did, I began digging. The clip was uploaded in 2011 and has no description or tags. The user that put it up, Chibonk182, only has 2 other videos. One of them is an Indonesian news clip about Mubarak, the former president of Egypt, but the other one is another creepy video. The title is Leak Bali Penampakan, and it's a grainy compressed camcorder clip of a group of people sitting around a fire with wolves howling in the background. The camera zooms in, the video glitches a bit, and a strange creature can be seen approaching the fire. It begins talking to the people sitting around the flames, showing off its horrible witch-like hands. The camera pans away from the fire and some chaos begins to happen off-screen. When it pans back, a man can be seen laying on the ground, apparently having some sort of seizure while his friends try to help him. The clip cuts to everyone suddenly laying still, and it's all just very silly. I appreciate the effort, but this is obviously fake. The wolf sounds in the beginning are looped and obviously aren't coming from the camera's microphone, and the creature looks like a guy in a Halloween mask. But I think it's still a well-done piece of internet horror, especially for the time period. You know what's even scarier than Halloween masks and grainy video clips?
He's
The
nuts.
sheer amount of spam and scam calls that I get. It feels like a daily thing nowadays, and I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like they're getting more aggressive. I got one recently where they were like, "Oh, you've committed tax fraud and the police are on their way to your house to arrest you, but we'll call them off if you sign into this online form." Part of the reason for these scam calls is because of big companies mishandling your data. I mean, take AT&T for example. They recently revealed that nearly all of their customers' call and text records have been exposed in a massive data breach. And it hasn't even been a few months since they admitted over 70 million social security numbers ended up on the dark web. But luckily, there's a service out there that can help you protect yourself. Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura will not only alert you if your sensitive information becomes compromised, they'll also alert you if anyone uses that data to try to get into your credit.
I don't believe in credit.
Not only do they offer this real-time protection against cybercrime, they do a lot more. They offer a VPN, transaction monitoring, antivirus, text message protection, identity theft insurance, a password manager. It's like an entire suite of cybersecurity tools all rolled into one app that's actually pretty affordable. They even have an AI-powered call assistant that will screen unknown calls for spams or scams.
AI, I hate that. Why? I have no idea. The internet told me to hate AI. So I hate AI.
Okay, this Leak Bali video might have been fake, but what about Koyan Dayak? Well, the title refers to an entity from Southeast Asian folklore that manifests itself as a floating severed head with its entrails hanging out from under it. But that has nothing to do with the creature in the video, which isn't actually supernatural at all. A few Google searches will reveal that this video depicts a Pakistani sideshow attraction. They have a man sit under a box with his head sticking out and put the body of a stuffed fox close to his neck covered up by a scarf or fur to make it look like it's attached to him. The man wears makeup and presents as a woman to onlookers and acts as a sort of fortune teller. People ask him about the future and he responds in a jovial manner. The most famous of these fortune tellers is known as Mumtaz Begum, who works in a zoo in Karachi. Now Mumtaz Begum is not the fortune teller depicted in this video, and in fact, the person playing the half-fox, half-human is acting pretty strangely. These characters are supposed to be positive and silly, but this one looks really uncomfortable, like it doesn't want to be there. I can think of 2 scenarios that explain this video. In the first one, the fortune teller is just simply having a bad day. I found a Pakistani news clip about Mumtaz Begum, and
Damn
in
it.
it, he said that he needs to work 11-hour shifts every day.
Jesus
without
Christ.
breaks. That would be enough to put me and most people in a bad mood.
For real. That's some bullshit. Why would he be working that much?
Purposefully staged this clip. We know from his Leak Bali video that he has made internet horror before, so why would this be any different? Maybe he happens to know someone who plays one of these fortune tellers, and together they made a grainy video clip of them acting as uncanny and weird as possible. I don't know which scenario happens to be correct here, but we were able to somewhat figure out what was going on in Koyon Dayak, which makes sense. The video has almost 1 million views. We know who made it. It has context. But what if I told you there was a completely different category of creepy videos available online that are all magnitudes more mysterious than Koyon Dayak? I'm talking about videos with low view counts made by unknown creators depicting unexplainable scenes. These videos exist seemingly detached from everything else on the internet, as if they just popped into existence one day without any warning or explanation. If there was a YouTube iceberg and Koyon Dayak was somewhere in the middle, these next videos would be right at the bottom. We're about to investigate clips that completely lack any origin or context, as if they came from another reality.
Sure. Let me just delete message.
Something oddly alluring about the winter solstice.
And let me go right here.
When the Earth's orbital tilt reaches its climax, and it feels like the sun sets only a few hours into the day. That time when Christmas seemingly puts society to sleep, leaving everything quiet, dark, and covered in snow. This first video we're going to investigate may have taken place during one such winter night. Before we talk about it, we're going to watch it in its entirety.
Vengan a ver esto, boludo, vengan a ver, boludo, mirá lo que hice, ¿qué es lo que hizo, Mirá, boludo, mirá, boludo, se está preparado, boludo, se está preparado, mirá, vení, pasito, mirá, boludo, ¿qué es lo que hizo, El Luisón, ¿ese es el Luisón? ¿Ese es el Luisón? ¿Qué es lo que hizo, Mirá, boludo, mirá, se va a venir, aquí, se paró,
What the hell is that?
Vengan, traigan Coti, vamos a traer a Coti, vamos nomás, vamos.
The video is only 40 seconds long, and it depicts some sort of creature writhing on the ground in a field of snow. It eventually finds its way on its feet, and it shows us its glaringly white teeth, revealing just how awfully big its mouth is for the size of its body. You can also make out what appears to be a
Damn, I need more health regen. Jesus Christ, I'm about to die.
For a couple of seconds. Near the end of the clip, the video cuts to a slightly different angle, and we get just a few seconds of the creature walking slowly towards the cameraman. Throughout the video, we can hear a frantic narration from what's probably the person filming. But right at the beginning, we can briefly make out a second voice for just a couple seconds. While the setting in the video might appear to be some isolated snowy field, it actually seems to be fairly close to civilization. When the camera pans up briefly, we can see what could be 2 or 3 dim lights in the distance, although the only source of illumination in the clip comes from either a light on the camera itself or some other light behind the cameraman. Just like everything else we're going to talk about in this video, the origins of this clip are shrouded in mystery. There's a few uploads of it on YouTube, most of them posted by Russian channels, the most popular of which has 8,000 views.
If we can get anyone to join us.
Hatefin.mkv on Google doesn't exactly yield much information either. There's entries on 2
I try to meet myself
wikis
rip.
called Secret Files and Death Files. As far as I can tell, these wikis both relate to a Russian genre of creepypasta, relating to files that can do some sort of damage to either you or your computer. Think sonic.exe or smiledog.jpg. The entries for hatefin.mkv on both of these sites don't yield much information. They both mostly revolve around a creepypasta somebody wrote about some supposed extended cut of the video, which I don't think is actually real. The biggest source of information I could
How do you know, huh? Why you doubting?
9-year-old Reddit post on the RBI subreddit. The OP tells us that he's mirroring a post he saw in Iliada.
Not dope. We got some people.
The post, which is in English, is asking
Yeah, 3 people.
information about a thread the image ward OP saw in 2010 or 2011. This thread supposedly focused on creepy images and files. One user in this thread uploaded a file called tumio.zip, which contained 2 files, finlandhistory.pdf and hatefin.mkv. The OP accurately describes the video and tells us that he's been searching for it since 2013. We can gather from this post that this video has possibly been circulating on the internet since 2010. One user on Reddit responded to the thread with a YouTube mirror of the video, which unfortunately has since been deleted, but hang on. The OP says hatefin.mkv was packaged with another file called finlandhistory.pdf. What was in this PDF? Luckily, finlandhistory.pdf is pretty easy to track down. I found it attached on one of those Russian wikis. The file
Scheiße.
contains pixelated text in Finnish that appears
Give me a
to be
second.
dark
Me
When
voice.
putting it through Google Translate, it appears to tell a bit of a vague history of the Finnish people between mangled nonsense. As it goes on, though, it gets more and more uncanny, saying things like,
Hell, it is along the lake. The name Lucy sweeps over the land, and Lucifer destroys those who believe in danger. The world is destroying you. We don't control you. Finland, country of death. Death come repatriating your arm, break the bones and knock out all the joints in the blood. 400 horsemen of the land do not consider the hordes as mammon. The temples are destroyed. The sun falls like sand. God descends from heaven and the prince from hell comes stabbed. Crows peck at his liver. Brave death fire burns sinful lake. All guilty father.
This file unfortunately doesn't really reveal much about the video, and I was beginning to reach a bit of a dead end. The only thing I had left to investigate were the voices in the video itself. Maybe if I could find out what these people are actually saying, it could result in some answers. I decided to post on the Finnish subreddit to see if anyone could translate the video, but I soon learned that the clip wasn't in Finnish at all. I decided to listen a little closer to the voices, and I really couldn't recognize the language. It certainly wasn't Russian or any other Slavic language. In fact, it sounded vaguely like a Romance language, but not one that I could make out. I decided to post on the RBI subreddit to see if anyone had any clues, and luckily someone did. I got a comment from a user who could not only tell me that the video was in Jopara, a Paraguayan language, but they also recognized the video. It doesn't come from Finland or Russia, it comes from Paraguay. This apparently was a viral video from 2010 of a supposed Louisan sighting, which is a sort of werewolf-like creature. Somebody in 2010 must have downloaded this video, changed the colors to make the grass look like snow, renamed it to hatefin.mkv, wrote up a creepypasta to attach to it, and put it up on a Finnish image board, where it was passed around a completely different corner of the internet as a total mystery for more than a decade. I really wasn't expecting to figure this one out, if I'm being honest. Makes me wonder how the next videos will go. Once again, before I say anything about this next clip, we're gonna watch it in full.
Now we have Aura, dude. That was us supposed to be.
This video, titled Sigue la Libélula, was uploaded on December 22nd, 2007, making it the oldest
Over the
past 16 years, it's amassed 33,000 views. Just like hatefin.mkv, there's very little information to work from here. The title is in Spanish. When translated to English, it reads, Follow the Dragonfly. Other than the first and last shots though, the video has very little to do with dragonflies. We get a montage of various unrelated clips, starting with pictures of what appears to be fleas or some other small bugs. After that, we get a shot of what could be a doorbell camera at night with a clown approaching it in slow motion, all set to some really creepy sounds that could be ripped right from a To The Ark video. After that, there's the maggots in the pan, the small bugs again, two images that I can't show you on YouTube that I will just refer to as medical mishaps, and once again, the dragonfly. The description of this video simply
Bro,
reads,
get the
"It's a one
frick
video."
away from there,
The
idiot.
author is called Weird Liba Lula, who's only uploaded this one video and doesn't have any information on their channel. In fact, searching this channel name on Google results in almost no information, making this video's author essentially anonymous. The first thing that sticks out to me are the visual effects. These 100% come from Windows Movie Maker. The hue shifting effect, the film grain, the sepia filter. Speaking as someone who used Windows Movie Maker for years, I can tell you confidently
Oh my
that this was
God,
made
dude.
with that program. The audio though, I'm not so sure about. It's obvious a lot of sounds here are just slowed down or reversed. And in fact, reversing and speeding up this track by 2 times reveals that much of the audio in the video is just Antichrist Superstar by Marilyn Manson. The audio during the clown part is a similar situation. When reversing this and speeding it up by 4 times, we'll hear what sounds like cut up circus music. And you know what? Hearing this paired with the clown clip gave me an intense feeling of deja vu. I had seen this somewhere before, I swear. I decided to search creepy clown video on YouTube with a before search parameter set to 2008, so we only get results from before that.
God, I don't care. Bro, get the fuck away from here, dude.
Whoever put together Follow the Dragonfly apparently had as well. If the clown part was taken from another video, then what else was? Well, for starters, doing an image back search
Stupid
alone
kids
is
don't know how to do the damn challenges.
an article that linked to a video called "You Have Life Form Living on Your Body." And this is the exact clip that's in the beginning of Follow the Dragonfly. This one was put up in early 2007, and it's about different forms of microscopic bugs that live on your body, like dust mites and head lice. Considering that
Gross.
2 of the longest clips in this video were ripped right from other videos, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that everything here was compiled from outside sources. But with that being said, I can't actually find sources for anything else in this video. The maggots on the stove, for example, I tried doing some image back searches and also some search queries using the before search parameter, but I wasn't able to find a source for it. And the same goes for that first Dragonfly clip at the beginning and the 2 medical pictures that I can't show you. The only other information I can find about this video comes from a Spanish language fandom wiki revolving around Obey the Walrus, which is a huge rabbit hole that would be very hard to explain quickly.
Obey the
If you
Walrus,
wanna learn
what?
about it, I suggest watching Blame It on George's video about the topic. But in short, Obey the Walrus was an incredibly popular viral video from 2007 that was notable for how creepy it was for the time period. It inspired many other YouTubers to make horror videos in a similar style.
Oh, yeah.
According to this wiki, Follow the
I mean,
Dragonfly
bro.
is one such example of this. I could definitely see how Obey the Walrus might have inspired this video. Not only is the name similar, but even the editing and the sound design is almost identical, with its reverse children's music and even the same Windows Movie Maker hue shifting effect. I think we can consider this case closed for Follow the Dragonfly. It was merely one of many Obey the Walrus copycat videos, using found footage from different corners of the web to create a unique piece of internet horror. You know, we've been able to find an explanation for pretty much everything today. Let's see if we can continue that perfect streak with this final video. Once again, we'll watch it in whole before we talk about it.
I don't know what size does to the shield to be completely honest. Is it the size of the explosion afterwards or what?
Drug.mp4 was uploaded in 2017 by Crack My Brain, a channel that archives various obscure creepy videos, including hatefin.mkv. In this clip, we can see a man possibly covered in blood talking to the camera in a pitch black room. The audio is completely mangled. It sounds like it's been passed through some voice filter that has a robot setting. While the camera seems to glitch out often, the date never seems to change, showing us June 2nd, 9999, which is 7,975 years in the future. Honestly, guys, I can't find any information about this clip. Using visual searches, I was able to find a slightly earlier upload made by another creepy video archive channel in 2016, but this obviously isn't the original copy, as it has a Bandicam watermark on it and the video is half the length of the 2017 version. The binary here merely translates to the word, "that's." And that's pretty much everything I could find out about this clip. I made a post on Reddit about it, but I didn't get any responses. This one might actually come from a different reality. If you have any information about Drug.mp4, please let me know. And also let me know if you want to see more videos like this. I love
I still don't know what size does for the shield.
information on stupidly obscure topics. And if you enjoy watching me do that, I'll make this into some sort of series. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. Hey guys, just injecting a little postscript into this video because I found some kind of interesting information revolving around Kuyon Diag. One of the techniques I use to do a lot of research in this video is visual searching. This is something you can do on most major search engines. You just feed it an image and it will show you similar images. I didn't actually do that for Kuyon Diag, but I probably should have because I did it now and it revealed some interesting info. My conclusion was that Kuyon Diag was probably made by Cheapunk182, but that's not the case. Cheapunk182 just re-uploaded this video. And in fact, it has a pretty long history on YouTube. The oldest upload that I can find comes from April 8th, 2007, which makes this video the oldest one we talk about, not Follow the Dragonfly. And this one has 23 million views. That's crazy. That's like a total viral video from 2007, but I've never seen this before. It must have just been popular not in the West, I guess. As far as I can tell, this version of it is ripped from a site called aramad.com. And plugging this into the Wayback Machine, I can see this one article here. This is translated, by the way, with Google Translate. And apparently this is a disobedient child who has turned into a vile creature. So I'm guessing people use this to discourage children from misbehaving unless they turn into whatever this creature is. I still think it's...
See if we can get our shield to like level 2 or something.
Not Mumtaz Begum, some unnamed one. I haven't found the actual origin for this yet. Might be out there somewhere.
Imagine you misbehave and you turn into a fucking chimera.
So it's possible that the origin just is lost. I wish I could dedicate more time to looking for it, but man, I gotta cut this at some point or this video is just never gonna come out. But maybe I'll look at it later. I don't know. Anyways, guys, that's it. See ya.
Alright, good video, good video. Let's see what's else. The most disturbing internet media iceberg. Let's see what this is all about.
I eat little baby's ice cream. It keeps me young. It keeps me light on my feet.
Bro is using whiteface. That's crazy.
And slowly make our way to the most disturbing pieces of media on the internet. I made this iceberg myself, and trust me, this gets terrifying.
Where the boss at?
Let's start
There
at
he
the
is.
tip of the iceberg.
Ain't afraid.
Level 1.
Bitch.
One of the most well-known
Oh, nice. We did get to level 2. Very good, very good.
series created by Aubrey Ankrum, Rode Montijo, and Ken Navarro. While I described it as well-known, infamous might be a better word for it, as Happy Tree Friends was created to be deceptively cutesy, almost obnoxious, before shocking its viewers with some of the worst, or best, animated gore you'll ever see. Yeah, Happy Tree Friends relies solely on its subversive shock value. Every episode follows the same formula of starting peacefully, pretending to be an edutainment cartoon, with their characters living their own lives, and ending with most or all of them dead.
I've seen a couple of episodes of Happy Tree Friends.
On screen is usually something very minor. One of the characters trips and cracks its skull on a rock, or another one of them goes crazy and kills everybody. In true serialized cartoon fashion, there isn't much of a story that isn't introduced and resolved in the same episode. Once you get used to it, watching the show either becomes fun or you start dreading it a little. Some people can't turn away from all the gore, while others really enjoy it.
Bro has massive PTSD. And then he just goes killing everyone.
The web series aired its first episode on December 24th, 1999 on the Mondo Media website. The first 2 seasons were web series, with the 3rd season premiering on Comic-Con 2006 as a whole television show. Happy Tree Friends lasted until 2017, airing a 5th season called Still Alive. The show's popularity waned
Based.
over the years as people's humor changed to something more modern, but it was never truly forgotten. How could it be? The Kid and the Camera. The Kid and the Camera is a successful short horror film created by YouTuber Grumbled Inc. Entertainment. It was uploaded on January 15th, 2023 and has since amassed 3.5 million
Oh shoot! I smacked the shit out of my camera. My bad.
one of only 3
I was itching myself.
on Grumbled Inc. Entertainment, which is unfortunate as the creator seems highly talented. The Kid in the Camera tells the story of a boy named Kalen and the fairy-like creature known as Kipsneed. On his 6th birthday, Kalen received a photo camera and developed a love for photography. He took pictures of everything that caught
Yo, this kind of looks like a damn Christian informatical, or one of those Christian claymation animations.
Kalen is immediately skeptical of the creature. Kipsneed is able to silence his doubts by claiming that it was
I read it.
knew Kalen's name.
I even know your name. Kalen.
Kipsneed claims to know a place where
Based.
Kalen's camera can be fixed, and all he needs to do is follow the Kipsneed into the woods. Kalen agrees and follows the fairy deep into the forest. I won't spoil the ending since you can easily find and watch the original 7-minute short film for free on YouTube. But it's a very good watch, surprisingly well made and thought out as it builds tension with its quiet atmosphere. The short has a stop-motion animation and video quality style reminiscent of 90s children's shows. That adds another layer of horror, as any teenager or adult could see through Kipsneed's obviously creepy demeanor. But a child could be fooled by something or someone like him, and end up as Kalen did.
Up in a Kalen.
Cursed Teletubbies hospital photo. You might have seen this photo before. A kid in a hospital bed surrounded by 4 of the
Me and my homies.
Teletubbies you've ever seen. The Cursed Teletubbies photo is an internet classic that has been around.
We really do be like that though. We mad chilling like that.
Into it, the trail always begins and ends in the same place. The image was first posted by user JF1984 in the r/creepy subreddit. The post has since been deleted. Speaking with
Gotta get out of here.
1984 yields little more information. All we know is that
Meow.
they took a photo of it in the hallway of a British hospital. The photo was in a children's ward on a board titled Celebrities Who's Visited Us. Trying to research elements in the picture.
Celebrity who's visited us. The fucking Teletubbies is crazy work. God damn.
Cheer this poor kid were probably using bootleg costumes. On the other hand, it's not like it's hard to make the Teletubbies appear creepy. The internet has taken notice of that, as this image in particular has been edited multiple times to appear scarier, not to mention how many Teletubbies-themed creepypastas you can find. The photo remains a mystery, as it should. Another unexplained thing added to the pile of weird, unsettling things you can find online. Sitting and Smiling. Sitting and Smiling is one of the most interesting video series you'll find on YouTube. Every Sitting and Smiling video is nothing more than 4 hours of endurance artist Benjamin Bennett sitting and smiling. Really, Benjamin has created and uploaded exactly 327 of these videos, 1,308 hours of non-stop smiling while staring right into the camera without saying a word. It is safe to say that many people find these videos unsettling. There have been a few awkward moments, like when someone walked on Benjamin doing his little routine, but nothing was creepy about it. As stated before, these videos are a form of endurance art. Endurance art is a performance art involving some form of hardship, such as pain, solitude, or exhaustion. You can see this in a few raw moments during his videos when he breaks into tears but remains smiling or urinates himself. It's kind of hard to watch, but it shows Benjamin's commitment.
Oh yeah, and then someone breaks in, huh?
And what Benjamin is doing is a form of meditation, and apparently, after an hour or more of doing it, you should be able to just drift off and lose track of time. Now, that is if meditation works on you to begin with. In his videos, Benjamin Bennett has since transitioned to walking and talking in a new series he calls Walking and Talking. Hopefully you are interested in checking out what Benjamin is really like.
Oh, he didn't show it. What the heck? Oh, he hasn't uploaded. He hasn't uploaded in a year, damn. He sure does a lot of walking and talking, damn. Yeah, there it is. Look. Oh, you can see like the penny in his face. Like, how creeped out would he be as a robber if you just go in there to steal and then all you see is that, dude? And then I saw a video on the recommends that he made children go insane.
Level 3. Username 666.
Oh,
666, like
oh, my bad. Everyone knows about this guy.
Internet mysteries has made quite an impression on people. Its visuals are disturbing and frankly very impressive for the time. The video has long since been revealed to be nothing more than an art project by Japanese YouTuber Nana825763. Yet it has left such an impression on people that quite a few internet users still aren't sure if this is fake. If you watch the video, you will see that everything that happens is unlikely to happen when accessing the internet. But the mystique the internet had back in the day is something difficult to understand. You just feel it. Nowadays, people are more concerned about deep web hackers and their favorite internet celebrities being perverts. Back in the day, you'd find plenty of users worried if they could get mind controlled by aliens, making zombie apocalypse survival plans, and so on. The internet was a wild place, and to some, magical. On a different note, while we know that the video is just a harmless creation of a talented artist, we can't forget that we have something very similar today. ARGs, Analog Horror, and others owe much to username 666, who crawled so newer projects could walk. Nana825763 uploads.
I'm making a horror game now? Nice.
Stopped doing horror, and he is also working on a horror game and making dev diaries about it. Dollthing.jpg. Like the falling ghost photo, Dollthing.jpg is another internet relic from the early 2000s. It has scared people and unearthed multiple times over its 20 or so years of existence. We know very little about it, unfortunately, and with little concrete information, it's difficult to tell a single story, but at the same time, it adds to Dollthing.jpg's creepiness. We know the image has been around since 2004 and originated in Japan. User Another R first posted it on December 25th on a Japanese blog called xblog.jp. Another R also wrote on his post that if you don't repost the picture into another forum at the end of the year, bad things will happen, and claimed that there were many people that died from not reposting it. Soon after, 2chan and Nico Doga, a Japanese social media, began making parodies of the image. This led to both the parodies and the original image spreading outside Asia and the rest of the world. In the West, many users associated the image with the Gurgles and Bugman creepypasta, or Facebook user Annie Barbara's Hennicide. Hanna-Barbera's Genocide is its own rabbit hole, as this user was infamous for posting gore and other illegal content on their account. But we eventually did find the original image that was edited into dollthing.jpg. It is this old, broken Japanese doll. The doll is creepy enough that it could spawn another creepypasta, funnily enough.
True? That looks creepy as hell.
Fresno Nightcrawler.
If that stared at you in the middle of the night, you're shitting yourself. I don't care how brave you think you are. You're straight gonna be crapping yourself, dude. At least I would. I'd be like straight. Gah.
The Fresno Nightcrawler is the name given to those goofy pant-shaped creatures spotted on a home security camera all the way back in 2007. When you talk about Fresno Nightcrawlers, you also open a whole can of worms, as there is surprising evidence and debate around these creatures. As the name suggests, these little guys were first spotted in Fresno, California, but have been spotted in other US states like Montana and even in Europe. Still, most serious cryptid experts consider any sightings outside of Fresno a hoax. It's called the Fresno Nightcrawler for a reason, but that's just one aspect of the creature. What is a Fresno Nightcrawler?
These nuts.
Debate if it's an alien life form, a magical being, or a runaway bedsheet. The man who first registered the Nightcrawler, Jose, even had paranormal investigators show up at his house.
I freaking love this show. I loved it when it used to air, but then they canceled it for some reason. No idea why. Greatest show ever. The best.
They attempted to capture more footage of the creatures and debunk the footage. They couldn't find any proof that the Fresno Nightcrawler was real and couldn't theorize what it might have been. To some extent, the Fresno Nightcrawler does exist, but in the hearts and minds of the locals who have embraced the creature as part of a local folklore. People have made drawings and plushies of the Nightcrawlers because they are so adorable. So even if they're not out there, they still have an impact on the world.
So you take 5 damage.
To make an impact, you can do so by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. My Way Killings. My Way is the English language version of the French song Comme d'habitude, released by Frank Sinatra in 1969. The original song was written by Jacques Revol, Gilles Tabu, and Claude Francois in 1967.
Claude Francois.
My Way Killings are inexplicable events linked by the fact that the song was playing.
And now the end is near. So
2000 to 2010, and it's estimated that around 12 people were victims of it. The killings gained notoriety on May 29, 2007, when 25-year-old Jean-Marc Arambuyatan was shot dead by a bouncer at a bar in San Mateo, Rizal. The bouncer stated that he killed John using his service weapon when he went off-key while singing My Way and struggled to get back on track. And yes, the story makes no sense, like many of the explanations given to the case. Experts have attempted to explain what happened by correlating the song's lyrics to a heightened state of aggression. Karaoke is very popular in the Philippines, as it is in...
He missed the note and killed him. That's crazy.
It does have a rather high rate. So, while not as exciting, it's likely a coincidence that the song played during those...
Remind me never to sing in the Philippines. Goddamn. Those bastards would kill me on the spot.
Modern horror is not often considered a work of genius, with movies and games often relying on cheap tricks like jump scares and CGI gore to try to shock the audience. Enter Junji Ito, a 61-year-old Japanese manga artist known for his outstanding talent when it comes to telling
What's funny about this guy is that well, it's a meme that's showing what's his fucking name? Howl's Moving Castle. What the fuck is his name? I can't believe I forgot it. Miyazaki, there we go. I didn't even read it. I just remembered it, so I saw that. Yeah. Miyazaki is all like a pessimistic, angry little fucker. And this guy looks all happy and shit. And then the crazy shit that he fucking draws. You know, this should be like probably something Miyakaze draws, because that bastard's like, damn. He sees no. I think it might be like depressed or pessimist or something like that. He's wild.
And drawing some of the most grotesque things you'll see with incredible artistry. Though you likely know him. His works, such as Tomie, Uzumaki, and Gyo, are universally recognized as masterpieces. Junji Ito was born on July 31st, 1963 in Sakashita, Japan. He began his experience in the horror world at a very young age, with his first manga being Mummy Teacher by Kazuo Umetsu. He began drawing manga at the age of 4, taking inspiration from the works he read in magazines. He continued to draw as a hobby until he became a dental technician in 1984. In 1987, he submitted a short story to Monthly Halloween that won an honorable mention in the Katsuo Umetsu Prize. This story ran for 13 years and was later serialized as Tomie. From there, his manga career took off. Besides Gyo, Tomie, and Uzumaki, you might also know Junji Ito from his slightly less famous but equally good works, such as The Enigma of Amigara Fault, Hellstar Remina, and The Thing That Drifted Ashore. However, those are just a few more of his many works, as Junji Ito is a prolific writer. His works blend cosmic horror with thought-provoking stories that I just can't recommend enough.
Yeah, except Umazaki sucked balls.
If you grew up around the early 2000s, you might have seen and perhaps only partially remember this commercial. The 29-second commercial features a baby doll laughing, whispering in the tones of demons, and crying as it stares at the brand new PS3. Creepy sci-fi sounds play in the background as we're subjected to this surreal experience. The commercial ends with the tagline, "Play Beyond," and a strange cipher. So, what was that?
What the fuck was that?
Sony's long-term partner TBWA, an international advertising agency known for its imaginative commercials. TBWA has been producing weird and sometimes disturbing stuff like the crying baby commercials since the 90s, and the PS3's marketing campaign was nothing out of the ordinary for them. Inspired by an art exhibition called Ecstasy in and about altered states, they aimed to create ads that would capture the viewer's imagination using surreal imagery. And that's what they did. The creepy baby is meant to symbolize all the feelings interacting with the PS3's high-tech features could elicit in a human being. Turns out that what it elicited in many of us
Was fear. Based. I wrote the script. Not really. But hell yeah. Let's see what we're gonna slice him. We're gonna poison him. Poison him. And then he dies on his next turn. Dope.
On January 29th, 2009, the video shows hands coming out of the walls and ceiling.
This thing gave me fucking nightmares for days. Like, you will not believe. Like, oh my god. Not only that, but it was this and like top 2 scariest videos I ever saw. This one and give me a second. Give me 1 second. And then this one. This is a classic. For all of those who haven't seen it. Now the best version of it.
On the morning of January 2nd, 1978, a woman encountered.
Thank you. The best version of it. Let's see this. That is true. That's not have a wolf star. It's true. Yeah, that's fucking good though. I like that. We fucks with it. We fucks with that a lot. Freaking love that. I get this guy. That's it.
Feeling of a dark room before an entity made out of the same
Alright, give me. My bad. I blocked my thing while I was looking for that.
1 minute long, and in the description, the uploader claims that it is actual proof of the supernatural.
Well, let's take on this bastard.
Is it really? Well, there is a movie from 2012 called VHS that features a segment that is eerily similar in style and quality to the paranormal activity seen in Real Demons Caught on Tape. It was created by Justin Martinez and many other talented
Hey, bitch, I didn't hurt you. Go back, get your ass back to sleep.
The video had been featured in a Cracked article, and Justin had this to say. I was pretty blown away by that. The video is 4 years old, and in their opinion, nothing has beaten it.
Owie.
While not explicit, it does
You
confirm
whore.
that it is Justin's creation. We don't know how Chester Tyler 714 got
Fuck
his
it.
hands on it or where it originated. But the video was featured on Adult Swim's Off the Air, where Justin is credited as its creator. But yes, it's just CGI and a lot of creativity. No demons were hurt during the making of this video.
Based.
Japanese Kleenex commercial.
I can take a hint. I think it only does 10.
Dubbed the Ogre Baby commercial features actress
Fuck.
Keiko Matsuzaka and an unnamed baby dressed as an Oni. Oni are ogre-like creatures from Japanese mythology. The commercial
Oof, I'm gonna take a shit ton of damage right now, but that's worth it.
gaining a box of Kleenex tissues. Keiko playing with the baby and the wind blowing a tissue away. The song It's a Fine Day by Jane plays in the background, making the commercial weirdly soothing. After watching and describing the commercial,
People said that this commercial was haunted for some fucking reason. I don't think they ever explained why. They were just creeped out, and and they said that whenever this thing came on, that you were like destined to like lose or something. I'm not sure. Lose your life or something good like that. Nice.
is it really that scary? Sure, it's weird.
That a person watched it and then got
But don't let that apparent harmlessness fool you. Some people on the internet got unnerved by it. Stories about the commercial being cursed.
There we go. Yeah.
Rumor has it that the commercial will become a satanic nightmare if you watch it at midnight, and that Keiko Matsuzaka died shortly after participating in it. I watched it at midnight and haven't seen anything different, nor has Keiko died. Keiko Matsuzaka is alive and well. I couldn't pinpoint a source of origin for any of those claims, but since the commercial is Japanese, I expect their origin to be lost in some Japanese blog from the early 2000s. The whole thing doesn't make much sense and quickly falls apart with some simple research and experimentation. It could be that I'm already too cursed from doing all the other demonic videos I've
Bro, you're actually like gone, dude. It's so Jover for you.
Mexican television network owned by Televisa Univision. It was created in Mexico City in 1952. Canal 5's program lineup is targeted at a younger audience. It usually airs cartoons, series, and movies along with a
Televisa presenta.
events like NFL games, boxing, and the FIFA World Cup. In recent years, Canal 5's Twitter page has started posting strange and disturbing posts. Stuff that is completely out of character for a channel targeting a younger audience. The posts typically happen between 3 a.m. and get deleted a few hours later.
Base.
Some examples of posts include Michael Rosen's lunchtime song, though horribly distorted, and whatever this is. The posts posts have been investigated and widely shared on Mexican social media. Infobay Mexico, a Mexican news site, contacted one of the collaborators of Channel 5 who claimed they did not know the disturbing posts. Channel 5 also aired the infamous Celine Delgado Lopez missing girl report, which proves they aren't strangers to creepy content. The Selena Lopez case is another rabbit hole that could be another entry on this video on its own. Basically, Selena Delgado Lopez might be a missing person who may or may not even exist. Otherwise, this is where it ends. The creepy posts ended as abruptly as they started, and nowadays the situation seems to have been largely forgotten. Little Baby's Ice Cream. More unsettling than the PS3 commercial, Little Baby's ice cream commercial is just that. A commercial, but a bizarre, surreal one at that. It's only a minute long, but it leaves quite the impression. The commercial is both creepy and disgusting, while not in reality featuring anything like death or blood. Considering the state of modern media, this is remarkable. The commercial shows a person covered in ice cream eating it out of their head. All the while, an American Psycho-style narrator waxes poetic about eating ice cream and how it keeps him young and full of energy, like a baby.
I eat Little Baby's ice cream. It keeps me
I eat Little Baby's based.
light on my feet.
The whole thing is strange, odd, and difficult to react to because it's a very unconventional form of advertising your brand and products. Ultimately, there isn't too much more to the commercial. It's just one of Little Baby's Ice Cream's many weird, off-putting commercials. Marketing techniques like these are meant to capture people's imaginations and generate buzz, which, to be honest, they are very effective at. Unfortunately for the Philadelphia-based ice cream shop, it wasn't enough to save them from closing their doors in 2015.
Rib.
Sleep well, Little Baby.
R.I.P. the goats. They were the best to ever do it.
Unedited footage of a bear is 1% footage of a bear and 99% bizarre, surreal, and downright genius anti-drug PSA. Unedited footage of a bear is difficult to describe. There is a story, but what happens in the 10-minute video is closer to a stream of consciousness. It suddenly transitions from bear to commercial to action horror. It's mainly concerned with depicting addiction, its causes and consequences through the lens of a mother addicted to Claradrill. I believe Claradrill is meant to be a riff on Benadryl. Narrating these events doesn't do the video justice. The video also has a couple of moments that don't make any sense, even keeping the theme of addiction in mind, so that doesn't help. Other moments, like the woman being attacked by her evil twin, are easier to understand as she struggles with and caves into her addiction. Then, there is just chaotic stuff that I think is just meant to show the kind of erratic behavior someone who is under the influence or suffering from withdrawal is capable of. There is a third layer to all of this. Text about the use of Claradrill, its effects and side effects that starts during the commercial part and continues throughout the video. It gives context to what's happening and foreshadows future events in the video. So yes, unedited footage of a bear is dense for a PSA, but also a masterpiece that can be watched for free on YouTube. The Catman of Greenock.
We're about to watch that.
Scotland is very strange. Stranger than you might expect. We have proof that it exists, but we also have enough evidence to suggest that things are not as they seem. The original story goes that in the 70s, a Russian sailor abandoned his ship on Greenock Harbor due to his mental health struggles and a fight with other sailors. The sailor became homeless, was attacked by locals at some point, and refused to receive medical treatment or shelter. This unnamed Russian man lived in the area for years, crawling with broken legs and unable to speak due to a broken jaw. He reportedly lived with a pack of wild cats and seems to think he is one. There are quite a few pictures and videos of him. Most of them were shot on the worst cameras money can buy, making this unfortunate soul look like a demon. This was not lost on locals who used the story of the Catman to scare misbehaving children. However, older locals date the story much earlier than the 70s. The Catman of Greenock may have been around since the 40s, meaning he'd
Damn.
have to be at least 95 years old by the time he was last spotted in 2017. It is unlikely that someone would live to be 95 under those conditions, but let's say it really happened.
Bro wants to live, dog.
The Catman would have been 62 by the time.
Scheiße, that did a ton of damage. Jesus
He
Christ.
wouldn't be able to last very long like this. However, even if there are problems with the story, there is or has been a Catman of Greenock, one way or another. Possessed Girl Found on Subway. Possessed Girl Found on Subway begins with two friends casually exploring a subway tunnel, apparently on their way back home. They talk very openly and seem unafraid, that is, until they find a girl convulsing and screaming on the ground. She rolls around, bleeds, and even begins stabbing herself with a sharp object as the two friends debate what to do. They wisely decide to leave, but it's too late, and the girl charges them.
This is like the start of a zombie apocalypse or something.
Find on YouTube unless it was buried in the depths of the platform. Ironically, that is where I found it. This video, Possessed Girl Found on Subway, differs slightly from other entries because there is no info on it. There are a few explanations, but we have no information on how long it has been around the internet, where it was filmed and by whom, or what happened to the people in it. It's a real mystery that I couldn't find the origin. This brings us to the question, is it real? Well, could this be definitive proof that demons are real? I don't know. Commenters had quite a few explanations, like the girl was high on bath salts, or Flocka, which is from a movie.
Waka Flocka Flame, dude.
Similar to that. To be honest, disturbing and raw as it is, I really think it's just an art project. I should add, one done by very talented people, but...
Wait, is Flocka not a hold on. I could have sworn that Flocka was an actual drug. I don't even know how to spell it. Yeah, it's a real fucking drug. That's bath salts. What does he mean?
Of demonic possession. Video dating tape. This 3.5-minute long video stars Tony, a 46-year-old man, 5'10", entrepreneur and businessman from Maidenhead, England. Tony, currently single, seeks someone to share his luxury lifestyle with. He needs someone willing to disappear for a long time and who wants to spend the rest of their life with him.
Someone that doesn't mind disappearing for a long period of time.
He also finishes the video by asking any suitors to send their information to the address on the screen.
It barely lived. We should be fine.
At the end of this video.
Tony is quite the bachelor, but the devil is in the details. Besides the obvious weird things going on, like when we hear screams in the background and Tony angrily lashing out at someone, his speaking reveals his true...
I forgot a drink. No, I think I'm dead.
Sounds like he has a killer
No, alright, cool.
but doesn't win any awards as a host,
Dub.
as we have seen how he treats his guests.
Very
I speak
good.
with such levity because this video dating tape is one of the more obvious examples of an art project. Why would Tony keep those terrible outtakes? Or him angrily lashing out at a victim and becoming increasingly more agitated? And besides, the editing also gives away the true nature of video dating tape with its cuts to old commercials. But kudos to Tony for making something genuinely unnerving using only subtext and subtle hints of what kind of person his character is. Transfiguration. Transfiguration is the name of a performance by French artist Olivier de Sargazon, where he covers himself in clay and molds the clay on his body. While not very scary in context, it's still kind of creepy. Olivier does get a little intense while doing it, and he also molds some weird faces, though that's probably because he can't see or breathe with clay on his head. When he can see, what he makes is straight up nightmare fuel. Out of context, this could be confused with a serial killer's routine. Olivier de Sagazon's art is mainly focused on the human body, its inner workings, and what happens after it all stops: death. His performances all have this strange theatrical quality while also being a raw expression of humanity. In some of them, he even goes so far as to set parts of himself on fire, though clay and mud protect his body from burns. His sculptures often look like rotting carcasses and definitely aren't for everybody, much less people with weak stomachs. Olivier has a YouTube channel and a website where you can see more of his work and learn more about him if you speak French. I recommend checking out his stuff if you enjoy alternative ideas of aesthetics and beauty. Level 5. Creepy PSAs. We've all seen this one before, a creepy, gut-wrenching, and violent public service announcement. These are meant to get a message through supposedly thick skulls. Some go above and beyond and are legitimate nightmare fuel made worse because you often don't expect it, and they tend to be well crafted, unlike some cheap jump scares you'd see in modern movies. While pretty much every country has its collection of PSAs that could easily be included here, this entry would be too long to list that many of them, so here's a selection of some of my favorites. Top Chef is straight up awful to watch. It features what must be a frighteningly common workplace accident in restaurants, actual blood-curdling horror derived from something very plausible in that scenario. Slipping on the floor.
How can I get through the? I should do it. And just then 2 blocks, and we should be good.
The PSA ends without any graphic depiction of violence, but it's so sudden that the tape bursts when someone is walking by. What gets you, besides how sudden the PSA ends, is imagining just what kind of injury something like that would cause. They didn't show it in a PSA video, so it's probably straight up horrific. This British PSA, called Judy Knew Her, is special, if so to say. It's set up like a horror movie where you think Judy and her family might be by the person in the van, only for it to hit you with a switcheroo right at the end. And it's not obviously a PSA, so you could watch that on TV and get an actual scare seeing something this suddenly horrifying. Lack of red paddocks causes imminent splats is a French commercial about, well, a man getting crushed by unsecured industrial machinery. This one was rather subdued for a PSA, and the dummy they used was pretty comical too, so that's why I like it. It's a definite change of pace for PSAs to try and shock you, but also appeal to you in a different way. I just don't know if it was intentional. But hey, that's one way to get your point across. Dining room or there is nothing. Created by YouTuber David.
I mean, who working? Well, they probably wouldn't be.
Is something. The imagery is creepy. The doll-like lady and the hellish fire outside will give you the chills, but its message makes it truly unnerving and scary. Exactly 1 minute long, the video has the doll lady saying something incomprehensible, face planting, and getting back up as if the footage was reversed. She now says, "There is nothing." According to the creator, this is meant to be an existentialist message, one of hopelessness conveyed in a very interesting way. This is what makes this video special. It's not only meant to be scary, but also soul-crushing. Death is inevitable, but the uncertainty of life is balanced with the idea that maybe death is not the end. In Dining Room or There Is Nothing, death is the end. This video has become more famous for being taken out of context and scattered in places around the internet to make it look like someone unearthed some kind of demented movie from the abyss. You might even have seen it before by yourself in compilations or being horribly overreacted to by another YouTuber. Oh, to some extent, it's scarier when you actually know what it's about.
Calling them out.
When you don't. Obey the Walrus. Obey the Walrus is bizarre. Bizarre in a way that you don't often see on the internet.
Screw it. Let's get more potion, hopefully.
First appeared on YouTube in 2007, hosted by the now deleted channel Obey the Walrus. The video
Base.
features an animated image of Andros from Star Fox, some psychedelic patterns, and footage of American drag queen Goddess Bunny. At the same time, a Spanish rendition of The Itsy Bitsy Spider plays in the background. And in the end, we are confronted with it, a PNG of a normal walrus. What even happened? That's a good question.
What in the fuck was that?
And the internet at the time wasn't ready for the walrus. Obey the Walrus became huge and went on some sort of power trip, creating a cult of personality around themselves, going rogue, and resulting in what can be called a YouTube Greek tragedy. The video itself became the subject of much speculation as it was erroneously attributed to a cult called La Morsa, the Walrus, which was just made up. So ultimately, Obey the Walrus was a huge mess. It's hard to talk about it because there's not that much to say about it. A bit of a nothing burger when you look under the surface. And there are also only so many ways to say that the creator was a horrible, horrible person with an inflated ego. Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is a musical horror comedy web series created by Becky Sloan and Joe Pelling. The series is known for its blend of surrealism and dark humor with horror and musical elements. Its animation combines puppetry, live action, and stop motion with traditional forms. The original series consisted of 6 short episodes released on YouTube from the 29th of July 2011 to the 19th of June 2016. Due to its popularity, a television series was released in 2022. The television series discusses jobs, death, family, and more mature subjects. Each episode starts like a typical children's series. They feature anthropomorphic puppets like those in Sesame Street or The Muppets. The series parodies children's TV shows by contrasting its childlike environment against its disturbing themes. Each episode features a surreal plot twist in the climax. These plot twists include graphic violence, dark humor, existentialism, and psychological...
I took 7 damage that turn. That's bad.
The television series was met with similar acclaim. Give them both a watch, or at least the web series since it's free on YouTube. Mouse.avi.
Nice.
Mouse.avi is an instantly recognizable internet relic from the 2010s, though not for the reasons you might expect. The background sound of the video is actually the same one used for the Mr. Incredible Becoming Uncanny meme, the uncanny part at least, and that's actually a perfect representation of Mouse.avi. It's a creepypasta in a video that terrorized many of us as a kid, but it's mostly forgotten nowadays. But what was it about? The creepypasta is a nameless narrator talking about
Which should I get? Should I get the Caltrops or Outmaneuver? Because I do like...
He was trying to make a digital copy of one of them to put on DVD.
I'll tell you something.
Dark, twisted imagery of Mickey walking around aimlessly as hellish
Screw it.
and wailing filled the otherwise silent cartoon, and the quality of the film degraded. The 9 extra minutes of footage ended abruptly with a message in Russian that translates to, "The sights of hell bring its viewers back in." The movie was hidden at Disney HQ, and animators either ended their lives or tried to leak it to the rest of the world. And now someone finally did it. Maybe not quite. The video that accompanied the text was deleted, but there are a few recreations by talented people. Nowadays, stuff like that doesn't quite scare people. It actually gives them a sense of nostalgia as they look back on how much their taste in horror has evolved since then. But hey, Mickey Mouse is now in the public domain, so nothing stops you from making a depressed, evil version of him.
Base.
Level 6.
Apply 6 poison. I don't think.
The Memory Hole YouTube channel is
No, because it's only gonna be 29. No, I should have done it. You know what? Let's drink it. What did we get?
The channel used to be called the Film Archives. The channel had a completely different theme and purpose. Vice, apparently hosting historical documentaries and films, and, at least according to the people who
This
remember
next.
it, the Film Archives
Oh,
was
never
pretty
mind.
well regarded in terms of content quality. Once again, in contrast to the weirdness of its current incarnation. Or maybe not. Rather confusingly, there might once have been another channel, or maybe not. There is at least one Reddit thread that links Memory Hole to the Film Archives, and the few people who commented on it seem to be sure these two have something to do with the other. However, doing a little more research also presents a completely different story. Apparently, the channel was created by the people behind Everything is Terrible, an artist collective from LA that finds, edits, and compiles clips from old VHS tapes. Vice managed to find and contact one of their editors.
If I go this way.
Commodore gave them an interview in which
Yeah, we need to go this way because I need a rest.
any doubts you could have about the channel. The Memory Hole, much like
Go.
Everything is Terrible, it's just a place where they store edited footage.
Because I need damn heels, dude.
They have the world's most extensive and well-organized library of home videos. The team got access to it due to their connections to a famous television show. Yes, some of the content is creepy and unsettling, but that's the point. These are restored clips of content that otherwise
Kind of hope that we got the whatchamacallit, the thing that the outplanned or outmaneuvered or something like that. The escape plan. Shiza.
Look at the Clown. Look at the Clown, a child therapy program, is a 220-second long crime in video format. Uploaded by American visionary Ronald Yoder American Classics to his channel of the same name. Look at the Clown is both absurdist comedy and horror. It plays on the fear of clowns that many people have to create one of the most unsettling experiences I have ever seen.
Clowns are extremely scary, not gonna lie. What clown story do I have? I don't think I have any clowns. I just like, I saw Killer Clowns from Outer Space as a kid, and for some reason I thought that that's what would actually happen to not to people that hung out with clowns and stuff. So that always made me afraid. But now that I go back and watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space, it's not even that scary. So I don't even know why I was being a little bitch about it. I don't know. As a kid, you find the weirdest thing scary. It's kind of wild. But hey, you're a kid. You don't know any better. I'm losing so much health.
Famous actress Tilda Swinton creates this video for his son, Ronald Yoder Jr., who is afraid of clowns and may be missing. After watching it, I don't know.
Alright, cool. He dies. Base.
The video is 9 years old, and surprisingly, Ronald Yoder posts every couple of months. His channel is not dead, and after watching some of his videos, I can safely say that I don't get him or his motives. All of Yoder's videos are absurdist comedies that reveal little about him. He seems to be aware of Look at the Clown's popularity. He's even made fun of Iceberg videos covering the video and his channel.
Thank you to YouTube's users, Chill Fuel, for mentioning me in his Icebergs video.
He has also parodied his most infamous video in other more creative ways.
Thank you, Mr. Chillfuel, for further cementing my legacies as the creepy clown man of YouTubes.com.
Oh wait, I thought rip. Never mind. I only have one option.
One of the earliest forms of analog horror.
Heals. Oh, nice. Got more heals. We need more heals. We need way more heals. Kind of wish that we could upgrade, but nah.
Created by Alan Resnick in 2011, Alan Tutorials is a channel that instructs its viewers on how to successfully perform nonsensical tasks, such as how to leak on a piece of paper, how to make mail into a square, and how to make a windmill. How to make a windmill is my favorite because by the end you don't actually make a windmill, but you hear Alan trying to explain how to make it work. As time passed, some strange videos were uploaded to the channel. Videos such as how to escape a dark room and find light, how to eat light spin salad, And a few more all began to show up on his channel, making some of his viewers think Alan might have been kidnapped and escaped using the skills he developed through his tutorials. Alan hasn't uploaded for a decade, and the last time we saw him, he was trying to escape from a room covered in trash. And it's
That really got one out. Fuck.
We do know Alan Resnick is a comedian, visual artist, and filmmaker. He's a member of Wham City Art Collective and a founding member of Wham City Comedy. Alan is also the voice, arms, and legs behind Alan Tutorials. The whole channel is an art project that mixes absurdist comedy and horror, which actually caught some people off guard in the 2010s. It's excellent, and
We got to kill one, at least.
Save Them, Jesus. Save Them, Jesus is a 1 minute and 10-second long
Yes.
video that shows an image of Jesus. The image quality decays, giving it an evil, demonic look. His head begins to spin like you'd see in an Exorcist movie, all the while bizarre sounds play in the background. The video ends with a message that says, "Do you love helping others? Do you love praying for others? Well, why not those who are suffering in hell? They need it the most.
Based.
They really deserve such unimaginable eternal pain. But if you want..."
That's the one thing I don't get. Like, if hell is supposed to be like a bad place where bad people go, like, why would the devil punish people that go against God? I'm pretty sure like he'd be like, oh, you know what? That's dope. Hell yeah. Do more of that. Yummies. Because, like, why would we be helping out what comes out to be like his arch nemesis? Like, yeah, some people say that, I guess canonically the devil regrets going up against God, but like, I don't think you can come back from that one, Chief. Not gonna lie. Then again, God does forgive everyone, so can't he forgive him? Questions like that I'd like to ask, but then I just get called a blasphemous person. Even though I do believe myself to be a Christian, but wow.
Won't erase hell, no matter how much we ask. While the image is unsettling and satanic, the text has a more skeptical tone, as if the creator is trying to cast doubt if people are as good as they think, and if God is as merciful as he seems. Save Them, Jesus was originally uploaded by Imagindom, a YouTube channel created in 2016 and deleted shortly after. Imagindom's videos all have this unsettling tone to them, and their channel, as related by them, was the victim of a mass plaguing done by children, it seems. To some extent, Imagindom's videos are indeed disturbing, and the message of skepticism is dense, but ultimately, this was something of an art project. Imagindom wanted to make people question things through his unsettling imagery, which is a valid form of artistic expression. While the channel has long since been deleted,
Jesus Christ, what? So much fear, holy shit.
So if you're up for a bit of shock philosophy, you might want to check Imagindom's videos. Level 7. Cooking with Huck Botko. Cooking with Huck Botko is difficult to talk about. It's actually hard to say if the footage is fictional or not, as the delivery is extremely deadpan, and you see a good amount of the disgusting stuff actually happening on camera. Huck Botko's videos are a part of the Ensuring Your Place in Hell DVD film collection made probably in 2010 by an anonymous person. The DVD
I'm gonna take so much damage though.
minimal films combined, including the infamous Grave Robbing for Morons, the obscure Mortuary of the Dead, Cooking with Huck Botko, and the bizarre Exploding Varmints. Ensuring Your Place in Hell is an exceedingly rare DVD that will go for outrageous prices online if you can find it at all. On the other hand, it's a goldmine for people who enjoy morbid, horror-adjacent entertainment. There are 5 videos in total, though only 4 of them are related to cooking. Since we'll focus on the cooking ones, I'll briefly summarize the
Died there. Oh.
tries to pass an STI to a girl he dislikes through a harebrained scheme. He fails and does awful things to her personal belongings. In the first film, he bakes a cake for his dad, paying people to spit on the batter. In In the second one, he makes a cheesecake for his mother using roadkill.
Oh, thank God it dies.
The third
Woo.
one, he makes a fruitcake for his sister using contaminated human blood and gives it to her during a party where many other people eat it too. And in the fourth and final film, he makes a green pie for his brother using semen. His whole family ate it this time. Going back to Huck Botko for a moment, he is a legitimate film director and screenwriter. We don't have that much info on him. Everything he and his friends do in the videos is realistically nasty. Things that could inspire terrible people looking to get back at someone else. He also has an X account, though Huck hasn't posted for over a decade.
I haven't fought this guy in a fat minute.
About him there, so we are left in the dark. Ignorance is a blessing, after all. Protect and Survive. Protect and Survive was a public information campaign produced by the British government between 1974 and 1980. It advised the public on how to protect themselves during a nuclear attack and consisted of pamphlets, newspaper advertisements, radio broadcasts, and public information films. Protect and Survive had originally been intended for distribution only in the event of a national emergency. Protect and Survive was adapted for television as a series of 20 short public information films.
Because if we don't do anything drastic.
Transmission on all television channels if the government determined that a nuclear attack was likely within 72 hours. Richard Taylor
I'll say that for later.
produced the films, which were ready for use by at least 1975. The episodes are similar in content to other material produced by the campaign. It's unclear how, but people did manage to get our hands on some of the material. Pamphlets and the 48-minute film have all been unearthed and have since become culturally significant in the UK. Produced during the height of the Cold War, the videos have a certain sterile and eerie tone. Unsettling the viewer is definitely intentional as a way to capture the viewer's attention. While nowadays they are compared to analog horror, these are legitimate guides. They'll teach you how to deal with anything from how nuclear fallout works to disposing of bodies. Watching the videos has a sobering effect. It reminds us how easily the world we take for granted could be taken from us.
I think I'd die here.
Grim. Paris catacombs footage.
Oh, never mind. I get to live for one more turn.
Been around the internet since the early 90s. Perhaps one of the oldest internet mysteries, the video shows a person walking around the catacomb tunnels. As he explores the place, you get a sense that they are growing increasingly uneasy before they start running and drop their camera. The last thing we see is the person, apparently a man, running.
There was hope, but I think I'm dead here.
By another explorer in one of the deepest parts of the catacombs.
Nope, we're still living somehow.
While the video has fascinated many internet and real-life detectives, there is nothing to prove its authenticity. There's no evidence to suggest that someone got lost down there and recorded their final moments before disappearing. What precious little we have indicates it's just some sort of art project. The only verifiable thing is that, due to the lack of graffiti, the person has to be pretty deep inside the catacombs. Otherwise, anybody could have filmed themselves exploring, running away, and cutting the part where they come back for the camera. The catacombs beneath Paris are a grim place, to say the least. The bones of 6 million dead people line its walls and litter the ground. Death is everywhere, from alcoves with entire skeletons to bones turned into macabre decorations. The tunnels that would one day make up the vast underground network of tunnels beneath Paris have been around since the 6th century. The catacombs
Guess I gotta get rid of the bouncing Betty and then just hope.
The 16th century, when Paris cemeteries
I think I die here though.
with human remains. The catacombs have been a
Oh, I'm so close to death. Holy hell.
To some extent, this footage is just a modern version of old stories.
No, I'm dead. I'm dead. Yeah. He cleared off everything. No. Yeah, I'm dead here. Rip.
34 entries, 7 levels. This is an iceberg of the most interesting and darkest channels on YouTube. We'll start with the strange and slowly work our way to some of the most horrifying and disturbing content on the platform. Let's begin at the tip of the iceberg. Level 1. Soft White Underbelly. SWU for short is a successful channel created on April 24th, 2016
Alright.
by American photographer Mark.
Give me a while. It's like,
His
oh.
content is focused on interviews with the objective of painting portraits of the human condition. This means that his videos feature people often looked down upon by society and served as a way for them to tell their stories.
You guys are married?
Yes.
How long have you been married?
14 years. We met in rehab 14 years ago.
Oh, you met in rehab?
Yes.
Mark achieves this by asking questions meant to get his guests to talk as much as possible and just letting them speak.
I was lucky enough to have internet in the house and computers in the house at a young age, thanks to my dad.
From addicts to ex-criminals and sex workers from all around the US, Mark's videos are somewhere between educational and shocking, being raw but still within YouTube's guidelines. His channel has 6 million subscribers and all his other socials are also relatively successful. With millions of eyes on him, he has made a ton of money and gotten just as much criticism. Mark's videos are divisive, not so much in their content, but in regards to their ethics. Mark has a merch store, has published a book, and has many sponsors on his videos, meaning that he makes money out of showcasing people's often terrible lives. There's no shortage of people calling that exploitation, while many also come to his defense. The truth is that it's pretty gray. Mark doesn't help improve these people's lives, but he gives them a voice. He lets them be seen and heard, but he does make money from it. And while he makes money, these people don't. Jack Torrance and Nightmind. Jack Torrance's channel is one of YouTube's oldest ARGs. Alternate reality games, ARGs, are a form of storytelling that blends digital and physical media. You'll see how the two interact. At first sight, Jack Torrance's channel is a collection of random VHS videos. The videos usually feature something mundane and benign before suddenly cutting to dark or creepy footage. According to Jack, the tapes were found in 10 boxes at an estate sale 15 miles west of Austin, Texas. The people running the estate sale didn't notice them. The films vary in formats, ranging from old 35mm stock reels to Betamax, and some have been damaged beyond repair. Still, he is attempting to restore their original contents. The story, which is very hard to piece together, is largely centered around the idea that the tapes belong to some sort of killer. Of course, these sorts of internet mysteries attract internet sleuths in droves. The Jack Torrance ARG was picked up by YouTuber Nightmind, who went on a veritable journey looking for the truth. While the ARG's creator and Nightmind enjoyed their back and forth, it never amounted to much. Jack Torrance's channel lies abandoned, and the last update was half a decade ago. Hobstobe. James William Stobie created Hobstobe on February 15th, 2012 and uploaded his first video on February 17th. His channel was dedicated to portraying life as a rail-riding traveler. It has 59,000 subscribers, but was never particularly popular due to the niche content it produced. Despite the main subject being
Bro, opening up a beer on the train base.
Stobie's videos were also travel vlogs and normal vlogs where he talked about his life. His videos were candid, and Stobie seems like a pretty good guy, which makes his end even more unfortunate, as one day in 2017 his channel would go completely silent.
Aw, poor
He didn't
dude.
upload frequently, so people would not have noticed his disappearance until rumors began circulating about his death. Unfortunately, they were right, and James died on November 8th, 2017, while trying to hop on a train. He might have fallen off a bridge or his backpack got caught on something, and he was dragged by the train. Well, the cause of his death is unclear.
R.I.P. the GOAT.
Passing caused is real. Rest in peace, James Stobie. Level 2. Hilm Mary Mary. Now known as one of YouTube's coolest projects, Hilm Mary Mary was one of the creepiest channels on the platform. With its eerie atmosphere and well-timed scares, it was pretty successful. The first video, Hello, was uploaded on July 9th, 2016 and has since amassed 1 million views. The channel documents the day-to-day of Mary, a girl who finds herself trapped in a house with almost all of her memories gone. With unbreakable windows and locked doors, the only way to communicate with the world is through a notebook. Mary also uses a camera to register her routine as she tries to make sense of her current situation. During the day, the house is mundane and quiet, but during the night, strange things happen.
Silent Hill.
Hey!
What is really happening in the series isn't very clear until the very end.
This is insane. I'm not even gonna try to understand this anymore.
But you can piece a few things together. Hilm Mary Mary is about isolation and loneliness, and the strange things happening in it. The monsters are all related to those ideas.
What the heck? Where did you go?
But I wouldn't completely spoil it for you, as it's worth checking out even almost
Damn.
7 years after the project ended. Your Local Bread Man. Your Local Bread Man is a fever dream of a channel that posts animations that blend comedy and horror. The animations feature Breadman as he searches for his place in life and encounters some absolutely terrifying stuff on the
What the
web.
heck?
As it turns out, the world Breadman exists in is a scary place, and the story, though it's not traditionally structured, it makes no sense, is just him surviving it. The art style is unique and chaotic, complementing the video's somewhat nonsensical existential message. Meant to entertain and unsettle, the videos have spawned a subreddit as dead as Breadman's eyes. There are also 2 Instagram accounts related to the project, where you can see the author and catalog of the weird creatures that appear in the videos, and buy merch. Yeah, there is
Base.
a clothing line inspired by Breadman. It's a very niche type of entertainment, and it might not appeal to everyone, but the channel is a veritable gold mine of dark comedy. I highly recommend giving it a watch if you have a taste for the bizarre and ironic. Another highly recommended thing to do would be to like this video and subscribe. Let's proceed to the next level.
That's dope how the little, every time they say subscribe, it friggin' lights up the subscribe button. That's kind of dope.
Fantastic Adventures was a YouTube channel that operated from
I like
2012 to
that.
2019. Its content was mostly comedy skits featuring Michelle Hobson's 7 adopted children. The channel was popular and had around 800,000 subscribers at its peak and more than 350 million views on its videos. The channel has since been banned and its content has been lost. The Hobson, a family from Maricopa, Arizona, appeared to be a normal family. Sure, they were a large family as Michelle had 3 biological children before adopting 7 more.
Damn.
Still, in the videos, all of them appeared happy together. That is because behind the scenes of these videos, those who
You best be happy I saw him beat you.
Michelle's acting standards were brutally abused by her. There were at least 11 different occasions in which police investigated the family, but no evidence of this was found.
Damn.
It was until 2019 when Maricopa police received a tip from Megan Hobson, Michelle's daughter, which prompted a surprise welfare check. Officers found the children malnourished and scarred. Michelle
Jesus
and her
Christ.
sons were arrested. However,
Why would you adopt so many kids just to abuse them, dude? What the fuck's wrong with you?
Social services handled the case. Megan had caught wind of the situation earlier in 2017, but their complaints had been brushed aside again. Megan eventually filmed one of the children recounting the abuse they suffered. The account is quite graphic, and it is unsettling to see a child speak about suffering in such detail. During the welfare check, mountains of evidence were finally found. Bruises, rashes, and scabs all pointed towards the kids being horribly abused.
Jesus.
Subjected to everything from being burned with lighters and starvation to being forced to sleep inside a closet. Worse yet, Michelle's two older sons both knew of what was happening and joined in on the torture.
God damn.
The point is that these 5 children were not only failed by their guardians, but also by the state. Arizona's Department of Child Safety had to know what was going on, but chose not to do anything about it. Apparently, Michelle used to be part of the department, well aware of how things work and how to hide her actions properly. Michelle would die of a brain injury before going to trial, and her sons would have their charges dismissed. The case had extensive media coverage, though we don't know what happened to the children afterward. We can only hope they are safe now. Level 3. Fake Mistress. Fake Mistress was created on March 9th, 2010. The channel only has 4 videos, each more bizarre than the next. The videos are strange to the point that it's difficult to describe what's going on, but each appears to be an art exhibition of sorts. They utilize
Silent Hill.
looking animatronics and distorted audio to create an eerie atmosphere. The titles of each video are BeNewWorld.move, IWillSurvive.move, This is
Yes.
not the place for the luxury of love, and White Noise 2 is also useless for understanding what the videos are about. White Noise 2
I'm seeing the vision.
provides a sliver of context to what these videos were. These videos are actually from 2008. They are art installations from a yearly art exhibit at the Neurotitan Gallery in Berlin, Germany. They're the creation of German musician, photographer, and sculptor Olivia Pilz. The Neurotitan website has more info on Olivia and what her work is. The theme of her works is the violence against women through images that set a norm. She aims to subvert the idea of the passive and cute woman in a very subtle way. Lately, she has also worked on the combination of body and machine.
Nice.
Francine Dancer.
Take me home, young tiny dancer.
Channel that hasn't uploaded anything new in a decade, though you might have heard about her before. Francine's dancing videos have caught the attention of people online because they are interesting. To put it simply, Francine films, plays music, and even dances with one of the creepiest mannequins you'll ever see. But despite what people may say, it's all performative. Francine is an artist, and her brand is purposefully strange. Her mannequin even has a name, Starry Dancer, and is apparently to function as a roadie for her. While we do know the purpose of her videos, trying to piece together Francine's background is a little more difficult, as she is part local Hollywood celebrity and part misunderstood visionary. According to people who have met her before, she used to be a public access channel personality who had a variety show called The Francine Dancer Show in the days when a public access channel existed. Her IMDb page has at least 3 credits for participating in shows from the early 2000s. Nowadays, Francine appears to be homeless and not in the best state of health. Still, she continues to perform with the band Punk Bunny, who uploads often.
That's good at least.
Tor Ekhoff, aka Apator, was a Norwegian YouTuber who gained a devoted following over his 18 years on the platform. He was known for his weird comedic style, swimming in freezing cold water, and love for the outdoors. Tor's long tenure on YouTube would come to a tragic end in November 2021 when they fell through the ice at Jacob's Dam, a lake west of Kongsberg, while recording a video. Drivers rescued Tor before he was flown to Ullevål University Hospital by air ambulance. He died on November 22nd despite resuscitation attempts. His death came as a tragic surprise, as just 5 days before he posted his last video titled, "I am not dead, I am 57 today," to celebrate his birthday. Just 3 years before, Tor had been diagnosed with rectal cancer and underwent surgery, which his subscribers were very optimistic he could beat. Used to getting hurt during his videos, Tor was pretty much fearless and was often called reckless, accusations which he dismissed. Unfortunately for him, his luck finally ran out. Evalian. Evalian is one of the worst people ever on the platform. 18-year-old Veronica Bouchard used her channel as a platform to spread her hateful views of minorities. Veronica's content went unreported for an embarrassingly long time. She finally deleted her channel in 2016. The channel wasn't small either. Veronica was a prolific creator and had many videos on her channel where, besides acting as a Nazi apologist, she would also be generally racist while maintaining a calm and casual demeanor in her videos. She infamously would celebrate Hitler's birthday, making him, and get this, swastika cupcakes. It makes you think Veronica might be joking, but she isn't. Ultimately, though,
Was she actually a neo-Nazi?
Still, her videos can be found online, some kept by the scary amount of dedicated followers that she has. The fact that so many people agree with her or only care that she is pretty can make you lose faith in humanity. Veronica created a new channel called German Aristocrat, where she posted a video saying she would take a break from YouTube. Thankfully, she hasn't posted anything new since. Charlie Boy 22. Charlie Boy 22 is a stalker or serial killer who in 2010 asked his audience for their addresses. Besides posting Peanuts-themed horror videos, he also wanted to do an iPod giveaway. Of course, giving your address to someone who looks like this ended poorly. Charlie Boy 22 would send letters and packages to the people who gave their information. After a while, these packages would even appear inside their houses. The problem is that Charlie Boy 22 vanished from the internet in 2010 with no traces of him left on the Internet Archive or Reddit. There were no forum posts or images that could verify his existence at the time. While his videos seem legit, Charlie Boy 22 is probably an ARG. The uploader directly mentions Systics, whose videos had the most information on the case, and posted their video when Charlie Boy 22 began uploading. While some people claim to have been part of the contest, as Charlie Boy 22's re-uploader said, "Don't believe everything you see online." Though there are at least a few more odd things about the stories, these could corroborate both sides of the argument about Charlie Boy 22 being real or not, like his suspended X account. Why was it suspended? Is there a link between Charlie Boy 22 and Smart Schoolboy 9? Their online handles are pretty similar, almost as if one took inspiration from the other. We don't have any answers, but many, many questions. These videos were uploaded just a month ago, and internet mysteries like these usually take a year or more to be solved, so we'll have to wait and see. But whatever the truth may be, the videos are very well made. They are creepy and a little goofy, but definitely worth a watch either way. The Experiment.
Wait, so did he actually like stalk people online, or what the fuck happened with that? Or was it an ARG?
5 videos feature a person with a sack on their head writhing on the ground in a dark room, but that's about all we can figure out about it. The videos have very little audio. Most of them feature the person wriggling like a worm trying to set themselves free. Sometimes they do and leave the video, sometimes not. Sometimes other figures, which must be the scientists, show up as if they're checking in on the subject. This brings up to what the experiment is, which is also unclear. There was also a video where the subject was tied up in a tub with dark liquid. The video has since been removed from the channel, but savvy viewers reverse image searched the image. The image was compatible with another video in an old Russian channel called Mortis. Mortis has since been deleted, and nothing but 2 videos remain. Those videos don't contain any interesting info besides a shot very similar to the man in the bathtub, and an image that, if reverse searched, takes you to a legitimate horror short film. To complicate things further, at some point, the channel was live streaming an empty room which, according to a YouTube comment, might have been raided by police. While there are many theories about what the channel really is, we can't say anything for sure about the experiment. It doesn't seem to be an ARG as there's no puzzle or story to piece together, nor could it be any sort of promotional content. The experiment is weird nightmare fuel with roots that stretch back to old YouTube, and that's all we know. Level 4. Shy Shy Love 2011. Created by 14-year-old Cheyenne Kirscher from East Dubuque, Illinois.
Alright, fellas, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.